Hello, everybody. Welcome to 12 Days of UTM. Meet our partners. This is the 10th day. I say it again, the 10th day of 12 Days of UTM. And I'm excited because this is the fifth year of us doing this work. And it's an opportunity for us to reflect over the year, look back at what we've done, who we're doing it with, why we're doing what we're doing, and then plan for the future. So for those that have been rocking with us all week long, I thank you for being a part of 12 Days of UTM. And for those that are joining in today for the first time, thank you for being a part of the movement. Because of you, we do the work that we do here. So it's always an opportunity for us to plug in and get connected with you. So now I'm going to get started and invite our first panelist to the table today. So Alice, are you here in the building? Can we welcome you to the stage? Hey, Alice, how are you? Oh, there you go. We got you now. Go ahead, Alice.
Hey, no, thanks so much for inviting me for tonight. It's so great to be here.
Definitely. And before we get started, could you please introduce yourself and let those who are watching now and who will watch later, who exactly is Alice Navarro?
Sure. All right. So my name is Alice. Pronouns are she, her. I currently work for Travis County Health and Human Services. I am what's called a senior planner. And so I actually oversee the grants and contracts that we have in the workforce development issue areas. So the area that your great agency works in. And so what I do is we oversee a portfolio of contracts that are with a couple of nonprofits in Travis County to basically provide workforce development services for people that are looking to access better economic opportunities so that they can earn a family sustaining wage so that they can continue to live in our great community. I am a social worker, and so I'm a very proud social worker. And so in addition to my work with Travis County, I also do work in one of the local hospitals as a hospital social worker. So I'm so glad to be here tonight.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Alice. There's definitely a lot of overlap with the work you do day to day, but also what you do outside of that aligns with the work that we do, and why I love the fact that we were able to partner together with a lot of different things. But one of the things that we've done has really impacted the community. So could you share, what was it about UTM that first drew you to want to know more about us, want to partner with us? What was it that you saw in the community that was like, yes, I want to work with UTM?
Yeah, actually, so the way that our opportunity came up was because of the funding opportunities that we had through the American Rescue Plan Act. And so basically it was our, really, you would have to credit our county commissioners and our county judge, Judge Brown, for making the decision to work with your agency. They felt that the work that you do for our community and the opportunities that you want to provide for our local residents was something that was really important to them. And I know that digital equity is an important value for Travis County. And so ultimately, your organization was the best organization to provide those opportunities. And so that's why we opted to work with you. And so with this contract that we have, I've been able to get to know you better, know more about your organization. And so I've just been completely, thrilled to see the lens that you're using to promote digital equity in our community and to specifically work with our BIPOC populations. I think that, I think it's really important that these economic opportunities are offered to everyone in our community. And so I've just been so excited to already see the work that y'all have been doing. And I can't wait to see the work that you're going to continue to do in this second year of our contract together.
Well, definitely. And thank you to the judges, to the commissioners, to everybody in the Travis County side, because we can't do this work by ourselves. And when we see other organizations, other agencies kind of moving and grooving the same way that we're moving and grooving, is allows us to expand our impact. And we couldn't do it without you all. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your work and the overall services that Travis County do provide, because a lot of our clients do leverage those services. And a lot of our other partners also work with Travis County, right? So the more we can work together, the bigger impact we can have. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I love it. I love it. Could you share a little bit about how partnering with us has been over the past year? And I know we've been moving and grooving in other areas now too, even outside of the work we're doing with Travis County. But could you a little bit share about how the value has been for organization, but also for the different Travis County residents?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of, like I said earlier, promoting digital equity is an important value for Travis County. And so, the way that your organization has really created value is the fact that, as part of, having a grant with us, you're required to, submit information to us just to see how things are going with your program. And I just have to say that I have been so pleased to see the number of essentially residents that you're reaching out, and just in this past year alone, when I saw that y'all have already reached over 200 residents in just this one year, that's so impressive. Not a lot of agencies can do that because connecting with people is hard work, bringing
Woo!
services to people, building trust. Essentially, you need to build trust with these people that you have their best interest in mind. And so just seeing the metrics has just been it's just been so great. And so, of course, for me, I'm also a data nerd. So it made me so happy just to see how well your agency's performing. And so, really, that is where you're bringing value because it tells us that you are doing the work that you said you were going to do. So we're just, I know I'm just so, so pleased and, look forward to seeing how this, last half of our contract goes and just to see, how many more people are you able to serve in our great county?
Thank you for those kind words. I really do appreciate us. And as you're just talking, reflecting, and thinking about the work that we do, thank you for acknowledging that it's not easy work, right? Connecting with clients and having them first enroll, right? That is one barrier of itself, but then complete all the steps that are necessary to complete a program, complete a service. It is not easy on the team. It's not easy on our volunteers. It's not easy on those that are moving and grooving inside the space to make it happen, right? So I thank you for acknowledging that because sometimes our partners, our funders, or those on the outside may not really know what it all entails to really create value for an individual, but then also turn that value to individual in alignment to impact in the community, right? And a large scale growth. So thank you for that, Alice. And you touched on something that actually makes me want to go to my next question is where do you see the biggest opportunities for us to deepen our impact together? Given all the work that you do, given what you see on your side, where do you see an opportunity for us to really deepen that impact together?
Yeah, it's a great question. And so I think that, one way that we'll be able to continue to deepen our impact together is, to continue to collaborate, not only within our contract, you and I, Michael, we are collaborating in other initiatives like with United Way, with the Two Gen Coalition, continuing to basically, work together, continuing to champion and to promote the need for the services that you're providing. It's not only just digital equity, it's providing workforce development services and opportunities for people so that they can get into jobs that are currently sitting vacant, that these are opportunities for people to make a good living. And so I see this, us, continuing that partnership. I know that our project with you, our ARPA project is going to end, at the end of 2026, but it doesn't mean that there are not going to be any future opportunities, for us to work together. As Travis County, we do a solicitation every couple of years to basically, select people or agencies to provide workforce development services on behalf of Travis County. We will have another solicitation that will start. We'll start procuring in 2028. So then, obviously, that's another opportunity for us, to hopefully be able to partner together again. Continue to provide services. And the beauty of that is that those partnerships would actually last for several years and not just the 2 years that we'll have together with our, the federal funding from ARPA. But I think that, we'll still continue to talk. I also will make sure that whenever Travis County is needing, information and feedback from people that work in the workforce development world. I'll make sure that I'm bringing you all to the table so that you can bring your lens and your perspective so that everyone knows that you are committed to this work.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And I love that ending as well, that the work is not just about digital equity and it's not just about right now, but it's about building these long-standing relationships for the future to have a deeper impact across the community, across our region. So Alice, I want to say thank you so much for your time. We have our other speakers coming in now. So Alice, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll definitely bring you back towards the end for us to close out.
All right.
So, hey, now I'm going to welcome Carl to the stage. Carl, sir, how are you doing today?
Hey, Michael, how are you, brother? I'm doing
Hey,
well.
I'm happy to be alive. Happy to be alive and above ground. So before we get started, Carl, could you please let those who are watching live and those who watch later, let them know, who are you? Who is Carl Hunter?
Carl Hunter is a transplant from New Jersey. Yay, Jersey. I am the former executive director of an organization called Building Promise USA, which was a peer-led, peer-run, peer-driven organization that focused on returning citizens. We became the coordinating agency in 2021. We became the coordinating agency for reentry services for the city of Austin. I am now the principal of Invictus Consulting Group, which works with emerging nonprofits who are moving from one point of maturity into another one. And we just started another nonprofit called Futures Unlocked, where I'm the executive director and co-founder of that organization, which is also working on that population as well.
Love it, love it. You're a busy guy. You're a busy guy, Carl. So thank you for being here, because I know you wear many, many different hats. So the fact you're here today, I definitely appreciate. I know those that are watching appreciate it as well. So Carl, given the different things that you've seen and you've heard, what was it about UTM that made you say, you know what, I want to partner with this organization?
If you remember, it was you quite some time ago when I first got around. You were kind of like my mentor in the beginning, and then Via Hope at one time gave me a whole bunch of computers, and I needed a place to give an organization to give them to, and I gave them to you. You remember we met somewhere off Chacon, and you were going into a building. You were to repair all the computers, and then you were going to make sure that folks got them. And I was really, really concerned with the technology gap that exists in our communities. They called it back in my day the digital divide. So it was our way of doing that, and it was getting in the hands of young people as well. So it meant a lot to me to work with you, and our relationship blossomed from there. Some days I'm crazy, and when people tell me I can't do something, right, I do it. And you've always backed my play, in the essence of our willingness to transform people's lives. And you've helped me a lot, especially with the population that I focused on, which were the formerly incarcerated individuals coming back to the community. I guess for them it's a double negative, formerly incarcerated coming back in the community. So that was me being funny. Aha, right?
Yeah, and that's why I love the work that we've done on our side, because it allowed us to really lean in, right? So you've kind of touched on it a little bit, just given the people that you work with, the way we've been able to connect over devices over the years. But looking at the years together, how has partnering with us created value for your organizations now? I'm going to say plural, organizations on there, but also the clients that you serve as well.
Well, the significant part is that a lot of folks returning home for the community have this gap of information, right? Many of them went to prison before there was a smartphone, and I'm intimately involved with this because my son is serving 36 years to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and he went into prison when it was iPhone 5. Now it's iPhone 17. When some folks that we dealt with went to prison, cell phones were that big, right? And it was a beeper and a phone booth on every corner, and a mailbox. Those things don't exist anymore. So they come back to a world that they don't know. And everything right these days are tech driven, to the point where we used to, when some of these gentlemen and women came back to the community, prior to that, it was writing out an application, right? Now you have to be tech savvy to be able to apply for a job. You know, some folks went to smartphones, you know, cell phones weren't smart back. So just navigating with the new technology that's out there as far as your phone, right? Some folks didn't know how to use one. And integrating with your organization allowed us to help people bridge that gap, right? And many of the programs that you worked with, you all came in and provided technical assistance and training with just, you know, learning how to turn a computer on. You know, that was the depth of their disconnection from the world that we live in today. So you all participated in the Hire Initiative, where we were the Hire was the hiring initiative for reentry empowerment. And so you all came in and said, hey, we'll sign people up, right, who have the aptitude, because you are, again, depending on what kind of offense you have, you know, you have the collateral consequences, which are those consequences which are directly related to your charge. And then you have social stigma, right? You have the mark of Cain on your head, right? And because you're formerly incarcerated, people hold things against you. So gaining employment, right, was a significant thing. And in talking with you, right, you know, depending on what kind of whatever their crime was, right, specifically those who are SOs, sex offenders, right, they can't go to a normal job, but you allow, you know, with having tech skills, they can work from home, right? So that became a game changer for many people, and understanding that, you know, when you taught me a lot, that tech is everywhere. Tech is at Walmart. Tech is, you know, it's everywhere. And so now, by having tech skills, and everybody's not going to wield a hammer, everybody's not going to be a nurse or work in the medical fields. So this was another opportunity for folks. You know, real quick story. You know, my son, where he's in prison, they gave them all tablets. Well, they had to take the tablets away because one of the guys hacked into the tablet. That's the person, when he comes out of, can be and his life could change tremendously, going from no dollars to six figures, right? And now that in our present conversations, you were talking about people getting AI skills, right? And so now we're training. We have the ability to have people have since then stories. Yeah, I did all of that. I was in prison. Yeah, but since then, this is what I did. And my life has tremendously changed since I got my, you know, understanding, getting my certification in tech. I don't even have to go to college. I can get my certifications and my life can be tremendously changed. And you help, I know at least 2 people change their life that went through our program.
And I love that. I love that, Carl, because those are the lived experiences. Those are the use cases that we want to see. And those are the barriers that we want to overcome, right? Because not everyone who's looking to get inside tech or even move up across the industry all come from the same background, same experience, the same zip code, right? And we all need different pathways to make it inside the tech space and then thrive, right? Because the tech industry can sometimes eat you out and spit you out, right? If you're not really leaned in. And it can be overwhelming if you knew the iPhone 5 and now we're an iPhone 17, right? Because I know there's a huge jump in between that. And there's some people who are just starting in tech, and there's others that are way more tech savvy, a lot more tech than I am, and they're out there thriving, doing bigger and bigger things, right? That's exactly what we want to see, right? So the next question I have for you, Carl, before we bring up our next speaker is, where do you see the biggest opportunities for us to deepen our impact together? Right? We mentioned targeting those who are coming out of prison. We mentioned going into the prison and being things preventative, right? And creating a plan in place so that when they come out, we can hit the ground running, right? You know, given all of that, where do you see the biggest opportunities for us to really lean in and deepen our impact?
Well, as we've talked before, one is reentry should start long before people come back in the community. So we're working on creating opportunities for doing pre-release programs that include tech. The other thing that we've talked about is how AI becomes significant now, and how do we begin to train the next generation of folks, which include this particular population. And there's some things that we're doing under Futures Unlocked with young folks, and teaching them about that digital literacy is important, especially if you're dealing with cryptocurrency. And now, how do we become financially literate utilizing tech? There's a pilot project that we're getting ready to do. It's called Unlocking Futures, and a part of that is tech driven. And so, how do we begin to start teaching our youth, especially those who are in the BIPOC community, begin to start, thinking about, no, I'm not going to buy a pair of sneakers. I'm going to go buy some crypto, right? And change their habits. Because in the context of our community, we have just over $200 billion as a community, how much we spend. We're consumers. Now the deal is to change that narrative and make us, begin to start thinking about micro business, microeconomics. And so I need you to help me, one, work through that, and with your thinking, what you've always done, and help me begin to start looking at how do we train that next generation of folks coming up. So yeah.
For sure. First, I'm gonna slide you my wallet so you can slide me some crypto. We're gonna start there, right? And then once we get that going, then we'll talk about everybody else. All right, Carl.
Okay. Sounds good.
But Carl, thank you so much for your time, for your value, for your expertise and your passion doing this work. Because like I said, we can't do it by ourselves. We have to do it in a collaboration. So thank you so much for the work that you do, Carl. And I look forward to working with you, but also bringing you back towards the end of this for a closeout conversation. So now, Jamie, I'm going to welcome you to the stage. Jamie, are you in the building?
Can you hear me okay?
Hear you loud and clear, Jamie. So thank you so much for being here, because I know you could be anywhere else on a Thursday night. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to be here. So before we get started, can you please introduce yourself? Let the world know, those that are watching live now, but those that are watching later, who is Jamie Castleberry?
Oh, well, hopefully that's a complex question. We all hope that, right? So yes, I'm Jamie Castleberry. I work for Goodwill Central Texas. So Goodwill Central Texas serves Travis County as well as the 14 counties surrounding it. So we have a sizable chunk of area. As most people may or may not realize, that each Goodwill region operates individually. So who we serve is who our stores cater to as well. So all of the retail stores fund our services at Goodwill Central Texas. So I'm a director of grants right now at our agency. And so what that means is I do a lot of proposal building, program design, as well as reports and compliance examinations and explorations, which is very exciting. I also love Excel spreadsheets. So I am a data nerd. So it really brings some joy into my life.
I love that. See, this is why you, me, and Alice are part of the 2Gen Coalition, right? Because we all love data, all love looking at impact and making sure the work that we're doing is reaching the right people. Right. And that's one of the reasons why I love working with you all, working with everybody that's been on so far. But before we go into the meat of this, I want to just first set the stage, right, and talk about why is it that we even work together? Jamie, I know we've done a lot of different things, but what was it that first drew you to say, let me kind of have some one-on-one conversations with you, Tim and Michael, so we can have a deeper impact?
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, we work on a few different things together. So one of it is DECA. So that is the Digital Empowerment Community of Austin, which is filled with a bunch of organizations as well as the city here in the greater Austin area that works on digital empowerment for our community members, making sure they have access and transportation, et cetera, to not only the devices and technology that they need, but also the skills and learning that they need in order to take advantage of those opportunities, like advanced technology fields and career fields, but also telehealth and public benefit access and all of the things that we need just to be successful in today's society, as well as the 2Gen Coalition, which looks at serving everybody again in that greater Austin area, looking at serving both children and caregivers, knowing that if we serve the whole family, we're going to have a much more likely chance to support that family to become economically mobile as well as successful today.
Yeah. And I love the work that we've been able to do through DECA and through 2Gen, and even the work that we've done with Goodwill directly, sending clients to leverage our services, and all of us, and us also working with y'all clients with through internships and engagement and getting them plugged into the overall ecosystem. So shout out to Goodwill and the work that y'all do, right? Because y'all are a huge value add for the community and definitely for our clients, supporting and working with Goodwill, working the 2Gen coalition, but also working through DECA and leveraging their services, right? Because us collectively allows us to really move things forward. So given the different ways that we've worked together, what has been a standout moment or a success story for my collaboration, Jamie? I know we've done a lot over the years, but if you could pick one or pick two, what will be an area that you want to highlight and focus on an impact moment for us?
Yeah, I mean, I really do think those internships that you mentioned, those clients and participants have been just very excited to get a chance to put into practice under a supportive environment to put those skills that they've learned, both in like Goodwill's basic digital skills classes and UTM's more advanced technology fields classes and courses. It's just been really helpful for them to feel that support to go all the way through to using the skills that they learn outside of a classroom. So that's been really great on a more individual level. The other parts is just being able to do those warm handoffs. There are a lot of basic computer and software and smartphone skills that we both teach. And it's just really important to have access throughout the community. So not only location, but also times. So some people could see this as duplicate efforts, but the reality is that everybody needs choices with their work schedules and childcare and everything. It's been really important for us to be able to send people to y'all and for y'all to be able to send people to us to continue to support the community.
Definitely. So I'm definitely going to take a time here to just emphasize collaboration, right? So for those who are watching live or watch it later, if you are part of an organization or even like an organization, just ask them who they partner with, right? Connect them with us, connect them with Goodwill, connect them with Carl, with Alice, right? With the work that we do, right? Have them plugged in into this ecosystem so that we can be more impactful and help more people.
Yes.
So before I bring everybody back, I got another question for you, Jamie. How do you envision us working together in the future, right? I know there's a lot of overlaps. We talk about the internships, we talk about workforce development, we talk about 2Gen, right? We talk about DECA, but if you can hone in on one or two areas where you're like, you know what, this is where I want us to work together in the future, what will be that area for you, given your clients and your perspective, Jamie?
Honestly, I just to continue that theme, there is no wrong door. I would like everybody in the community to know that it's not just us four agencies that are working together. The nonprofit community in Austin is very tied together. There is no wrong door. There's no way that people can walk into what they think might be their priority, but they don't know, and they're just feeling the stress of life. We're going to connect you to each other. And I want people to know that. And I think that is our opportunity, Michael, and just continuing to build that awareness and continuing to push it out, away from the I-35 corridor, where we know that there is a plethora of services available, but those community members who don't have access to these things, so they're further out, just continuing to push out our services and these opportunities.
Yeah, I love that, Jamie. And as I think about it, I'm thinking about like the barriers that make it difficult for people to do that, right? And some of it is access, some of it is just understanding like what's out there, right? And a lot of times we need to be handheld through the process, right? And be supported and be valued and be appreciative of the work that we do. So Jamie, I'm gonna end it here and bring everybody back to the stage. But thank you for all the work that you do, for your passion, for your expertise. So Carl, Alice, how's the conversation going so far for y'all? Y'all liking it?
Yes.
Love it. So we are at the tail end of this. So before I let everybody go, I do have one more question, and we've kind of touched on it a little bit just throughout the conversation today. But as we close out, I want to leave people with a call to action, with area that they could get plugged in. So the last question I have for you all before I let you go is, what is one area you hope the Austin community leans into for 2026? And Alice, since you were the first one, we're actually going to go to you. If you could think about an area, we're like, Austin community, let's go. What will be that area you hope for us to lean into for 2026?
You know, I was just thinking about this because something that Jamie said really resonated with me. And so I think this is where this would be my call to action, is to continue to provide opportunities for people who are not in the actual Austin, proper city limits. So basically expanding opportunities, like Jamie said, beyond the I-35 corridor, because the truth of the matter is we know that a lot of people are moving out into the more rural areas of the county. And that's where we need to be providing services, is to the people that are outside of the Austin city limits. And so that would be my hope, my call to action for 2026, is how can we continue to provide services for people that are going to be out into the more, not in the city of Austin, people that are in Manor, people who are in Del Valley. How do we reach those people so that they have the same opportunities as those that live currently in Austin?
Man, I love that. I love that, Alice. And then Carl, we're going to go to you. I know it's kind of hard to follow after Alice, but Carl, same question for you. What is one area you hope Austin and our community lead into for 2026?
The issue of food insufficiency, surprisingly enough. Work with another organization that you're familiar with, Saffron Trust, and we're working on the issue of food insufficiency in the Central Texas area. There were 355,000 people who are food insufficient. In the Austin area alone, 188,000 folks suffer from food insufficiency, and that impacts all the other areas. Workforce development, if I'm not eating, right, all those other things are impacted. So that's a critical issue that we're trying to address as an organization. And we've created a tech-enabled system. We're introducing a tech-enabled system to help with food insufficiency. Over 3% of the unused food is being reused by some other organization. But so there's 97% of food left, unused food, that go to dumps, that goes to landfills. So what we're trying to do is impact or attack that 97%. And if we get half of that or a quarter of that, that's a significant improvement from what is being done right now. So
I love that. I hear a tech solution in that. I hear a lot of tech solution in that. And I'm not sure if you know, Carl, Manor finally got an HEB. It's right down the block, and now I'm ecstatic. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, HEB. So definitely hear you on that one. Carl. So I'm hearing food insecurity, definitely hearing expanding access outside of the I-35 corridor. So now, Jamie, I'm going to go with you with the same question. So please tell me, where is one area where you hope the Austin community leans into for 2026?
I have two things. Okay, I'll be fast. One is that these technology and digital skills are still important. I know we hear so much about AI right now, but it's just as important for every community member that needs economic mobility and a chance and to have the access to these skills gets them. We can teach AI. It's not rocket science, right? But like we can't teach access, because access has to be given. And so for a lot of funders and employers, et cetera, it's just important to continue to be aware that even though AI is coming and there's a lot of fear around what jobs aren't going to be available, the community still deserves these skills. The second thing is for employers that just talk about the benefits cliff, and that might be a weird topic to bring up, but a lot of people, when they finally get a job that is a living wage job, that doesn't mean that poverty is just eliminated. So I really like to see Austin lean into building this awareness with employers on how to bridge that gap from finding a new employment to working through compiled debt and all of that to help people get childcare and move forward to be able to be sustainable.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of the above, right? And when we think about the focus on AI, right, I understand why, but we can't disregard the fact that there's still people who are still trying to get plugged in, right? Still trying to get devices, still trying to get internet. So digital literacy now is even more important because of the gap that's being widened for those who are jumping into AI versus those that are starting at their front end. But then also the benefits cliff. Those who are now getting resources, getting acclimated to an increased social capital, it doesn't mean that immediately everything else they've been dealing with goes away. So I thank you for bringing that up, Jamie. Thank you for your focus and your highlight, Alice and Carl. Thank you for your perspective and making sure we're thinking about things holistically, right, to be able to move people throughout the process. So Jamie, Alice, Carl, thank you so much for your time. I know the audiences loved it because I loved it, and those that will watch it later will also love and hear about your impact and work that you've done. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I will let y'all say farewell, let you say bye. Before I move you from the stream, y'all can say bye. Y'all can close out.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, everybody, we are wrapping up 12 days of UTM. We have 2 more days for you. Tomorrow, we'll be getting plugged in with our 2026 Vision Panel, where you hear from our board, you will hear from our staff talking about the work that we've done, the work that we want to do, and the work that we have done in the past. So please stay tuned for that. And then on Saturday, we have our holiday party at the Carver Museum with the Black Makers Market from 12 to 4 for those who will be here in person. But if you are outside of Austin, still stay tuned, still stay plugged in for 12 days of UTM, and you can catch us all around with the work that we've done. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, and I'm out. Peace.